Whoa, if Tuesdays are for troublemakers, what are Wednesdays for? I don't know. I don't know what Wednesdays are for. Well, wholesale starts with a W, but wholesale prices are up. Tacos are coming down from the sky. Coming down from the sky. No,
Coming
literally.
down from the sky.
They literally
From the
are.
sky,
We're going to
sky,
talk
sky.
about that in just a minute. We're also going to talk about Lucid's new partnership with Bank of America. They're doing some things. They're doing some things. They're making some trouble. We're going to talk about the trouble. Trouble knows no bounds. Like, you can make trouble if you're like a standalone EV company. Anybody can make trouble. I think we're probably good examples of that. If we can do it, you can do it.
That's right. And we said this on Monday. Actually, you said this on Monday, and I think it's just one of those things. We might make a shirt about it someday. It's like, I think the quote was something to the effect of, "All innovation is trouble. Make trouble."
Yes,
and that's
all innovation is trouble. Yeah, I don't know why, but that's true. Innovation just comes in, and there are people that have a vested interest in protecting what they've built, right? Because innovation is change. And there's always those who built, like we do it. Everybody does it, right? You have your little thing, you've built it, it's working, right? You don't want anything to ever change again. It's right where you want it, right? And then innovation comes along, and your job becomes to protect it. Now, the difference between companies and people who make it and the ones that don't are the ones that say, change is inevitable, innovation is inevitable. Let me absorb some innovation. Let me be willing to change and pivot. But if you don't, you're dying.
Yeah, exactly. And we know that to be so true. You know what's crazy? We just know that to be true right now. Mm-hmm. Like, if you are alive, you know that change is inevitable, and not just inevitable, but advantageous.
Yep.
And yet, for some reason, we still have this like aversion to change as our
hardwired. It's hardwired, right?
It's really wild.
Seth Godin calls it the lizard brain, right? Your brain goes in survival, right? Because think survival mechanism. If you know what your situation is, you're not threatened. But a second something changes, right now, your attention is split, and you got to focus. It's just hardwired. And like the neural paths that you have, we're getting into like neural paths this morning. I don't know how this happened.
I love it.
But the neural paths, the ones you like establish early on in your life, you can never ever break them. You can't. You're always going to default to that neural path. So if you were born and raised in a family that has you thinking a certain way, or in an environment or in a culture that has you thinking a certain way, guess what? You'll never be able to break that as being a very strong neural path. All you can do is work really hard to develop some other options and lanes around it.
Well, Paul,
it's biology.
Speaking of breaking neural paths.
Segue.
Oh my gosh. What is the segue? Do it.
Track with me here. I love breaking neural pathways at conferences, specifically when I get the opportunity to speak. And we're actually throwing a conference.
I've heard about this.
Like, the sole purpose is to break the neural pathways of the way that we've always expected conferences to go down, specifically in automotive retail. So ASOTU is coming. We started to drop hints, and we're dropping like much larger hints of what's going on. We've got a link in the show notes that you can stay close to it. You can go to ASOTUcon.com and be the first one. We're actually, there's a small subset of people that will literally get the first email. It won't be our mass email. It won't be anything like that. We'll get the first email. So if you haven't signed up there, do that. But we're holding it not in a conference room, not in a hotel. We're doing some unique things that will actually serve to break the neural pathways of everything that you expect to come at you, so that you can absorb learning, absorb conversations, and connect a lot quicker. And actually, what we're going to probably accomplish in less than 48 hours will be more than what you could accomplish in any other week-long conference.
We really believe
the attention to detail.
We truly believe that. You're going to love it. We've been on, I don't know, 50 calls at this point.
78. That's wrong.
Feels like 780. But we've talked to so many potential collaborators for the event. We're not having any sponsors, so we're having collaborators. And everyone has been like, this seems really exciting.
Yes.
Right. And so we're actually going to be in Philly tomorrow. We're all the team, a lot of us, you and me, Danielle, our event planner, Al Kutri, we're all flying to Philly tomorrow. We're going to be meeting with the event venue. We're meeting with the hotels. We're going to be at the grand opening of Sioka Subaru, flagship Subaru store, which we have some plans with that store and the event. Yes. How novel. Having a part of an automotive conference in an automotive dealership. What? No way. Dude, but the conference center workshop rooms just inspire me to build better retail.
Yes.
And so we're doing that. More to come on that, but go to ASOTUcon.com and get your name in there so you can be the first to know, and mark this on your calendar. You see it on the screen. If you're watching September 11th through the 13th, it's going to be a Sunday night, full day Monday, half day on Tuesday.
Yes.
We also have Pitch Tank coming up in just an hour and 10 minutes. So Pitch Tank, if you don't know what it is, it's a room on Clubhouse where 3 vendors will pitch their products in only 3 minutes. Expert panel will ask questions about the product and the process. They'll all get scored on their presentation and product quality, and there will be a winner. But the real winner are the people in the room that actually learn about 3 different products very quickly, right? And the expert panel, Kyle's one of the experts on the panel. They ask the questions and pull out the insights that you probably didn't even know you should ask, and probably some of the questions that you already had. So check us out. If you go to asotu.club, ASOTU.CLUB, you can link up to the Clubhouse room from there. And
we got URLs on URLs this
We
morning,
do. You and I get really excited when we're like, oh, is it available? Yes.
Go
And so, fun story, we had to pay for ASOTU.com. Like, somebody was holding that domain. I think we paid $1,500 for it. But all the other ones that we've bought, like, we're good. ASOTUcon, ASOTU.club.
ASOTube.
Yeah. ASOTU.be. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
Okay, let's talk about some news.
Let's get into it.
Bank of America has partnered with Lucid Motors to create a seamless financing experience online. So they're calling it Lucid Financial Services. It allows the checkout process and the financing to be fully enveloped in the one digital experience with loan options, lease options. You can pick 24, 36, 48 months. And here we have a quote here from the CEO. Lucid Air customers have requested flexible financing options, including lease and loan purchase, many of them preferring 100% digital experience. So they're looking to develop a best-in-class, to just, they're a luxury brand. So like the checkout should be a luxury process.
It should be.
And so, the takeaway, I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? It's pretty obvious, right? Indicators are indicators. People want this process. We have it in our power as retail automotive to deliver this process. And yeah, you can say, but they're a fully integrated tech stack. They can do whatever they want. Guess what? We know of people doing it.
Yeah.
We know of people doing it. We're not idealists. It's actually happened.
But like, just push the boundaries a little bit, right? Like,
incrementally.
Make connections that you've never thought of making. We talked about it at the beginning. Be innovative, seek change, understand that you might have to think outside of the box, push partners, push each other to get to the finish line. And it may take like a serious focus effort in research and development and business development, but any dealer that's not doing that level of R&D is going to miss out on real opportunities. And whether you're a single point or a group dealer, you have the capacity to do this. Actually, automotive, I think, because of the various partners that execute business strategies based on what we need at a certain dealer level, are more equipped to do this in a quicker mode than maybe even some of these big box retailers.
I don't know if I should have been more familiar with Lucid's lineup, but I didn't realize they were so expensive. So they start, and they all like the different price ranges. They start at $87,400. They top out, the top starting price, probably gets more expensive, is $169,400. I know there's probably a lot different under the hood and in the vehicle, but it looks exactly the same on the site. Right. If you look at it. And so I did a little math, and it starts if we can either measure the price of Lucid's lineup in dollars, or I think more effectively in Chevy Bolts. So Lucid's base level entry price is 3.28 Chevy Bolts, and it tops out at 6.36 Chevy Bolts. So that's gonna be my new standard of measurement.
And both can start fires. Ooh, too soon? Was that too soon?
That's probably too soon. Probably too soon. But if you just calculate the amount of people you can transport in 6.36 Chevy Volts versus one Lucid Air, it's substantially different.
True.
True.
Without a doubt. Right. These are just facts. We just bring you the facts, people.
Just the important facts on Wednesdays. Moving on. Manheim just released a report and said that May wholesale used car prices have ticked up in April. So we were looking at kind of like a little bit of a decline, thought it was a cooling off, but Manheim saying they're up 0.7% in May, up 10% year over year, but month over month is really the more important metric at this point. Are they trending up or are they trending down? So what are we going to do with that?
Well, I think what we're going to do with that is continue to understand that the used car market is going to stay strong for a significant amount of time. Like everybody keeps saying like, oh, Q2, oh, Q3, we're going to recover the used car market. We're going to see downturn. I do think we had the discussion on all things used cars last week. And I think if you're not paying attention to all things used cars this week, you definitely should, because we're talking about turn rates in used cars. But we were talking about like how much is too much? Like what's the barrier of entry for acquiring a used car? And the reality is that it's not going backwards yet. And so, from a used car manager, from an operator perspective, or from even just a communication to customers, so you're a salesperson or a BDC rep, just recognizing that this is still a continued uptrend is really important, and to not get caught, quote unquote, with your pants down, but to make sure that you understand, like you can't stop pressing the gas on used cars, especially with new car inventory. I mean, we've talked to multiple dealers that just literally aren't getting any more cars in June. Yep. Right. And so
I we're think done, right? It's June 8th and we're done.
Yep. And then the reality is, and this was in the article too, that only 74% of tax returns have been released as of May 20th, and recognizing that prior to that last year, 100% of tax
they were
returns
right. They were all out by this point. And they're saying, hey, there's still more tax return money to be pumped into the market.
Exactly. So disposable income is still available. And we talked about this yesterday. There's this concern on rising gas prices. There's still disposable income for rising gas prices, and that translates to vehicle purchases. So just know, like, continue to pressing into the market, continuing to press into used car marketing and brand awareness on what you have available and how you can meet the customer where they are, is like, don't stop that strategy. Don't stop that strategy out of fear is kind of the idea here.
So yesterday we mentioned that consumers are electing to spend their money on travel and experiences more than stuff.
Yes.
Right. So for the auto industry, back to your original point, right, there's disposable income, and there is just a desire to allocate income to things related to moving around in a vehicle, right? Which is going to translate to more sales, more maintenance, etc. We've mentioned Clubhouse once already. We're mentioning it again because the All Things Used Car Clubhouse room that we host, that David Long created, and we kind of power it. It is the best place I can imagine anyone in the used car division of your dealership to spend an hour, because the amount of brain power in that room.
I talked to an owner or a COO of a 17-store group yesterday, and this person said, literally, I don't get on Clubhouse at all, except for to make sure that I'm like, it's in his schedule. He's the COO of a 17 rooftop group, and it says, like, that's important enough for me to place on my schedule.
It's the best kept secret in used cars, in automotive, hands down. The All Things Used Cars Clubhouse room on Fridays at 9 a.m. Eastern. Listen to this title for this week, because this is not a place where you're going to hear one person telling you what you should do. You are going to hear contradicting arguments on what other people are doing, which is the beauty of it, because there's no one way to do used cars. And here's
from California to Ohio to Florida. It's not like, some guys in like one set of group in Idaho
from a vendor somewhere just saying, here's what you should do. I've never sold a car. So here's the deal. Here's the grenade that gets rolled into the room this week, right? Here's the room title. Is it time to get back to a 30-day supply and a strict 60-day turn? That's a hand grenade that gets rolled into the room. There's going to be meaningful discussion around that. And my guess is the answer is probably no. But what's going to come out in all the discussion is going to be the strategies and tactics that people are deploying. And you should definitely be there. I mean, every week there's over 100 people having this conversation. There should be 10,000, maybe not 10,000, at least 2,000.
I like 10,000. That sounds great.
There could be 10,000. Let's get rowdy up in here. All right, we have two quick fun ones for the end of the show today. Especially for all the Taco Bell fans out there, because they do have a cult following and a really awesome Twitter account. Taco Bell has just opened its.
I felt like that was the sound that has to go alongside.
That's the sound that it makes when your food descends from the second level restaurant and it comes down through the tube, so you can take it out while you're sitting in your car. That's the sound that plays. Right. So they opened their Defi restaurant concept with, if you ever been in a beach town and you know that like all the houses are on pylons,
That's
right?
exactly what I thought the same thing.
I was like, this is like a house in Ocean City, New Jersey,
Yeah.
right? So basically, the restaurant is designed to let you have a 2-minute or less experience at the restaurant. You can order on your phone. It's designed with third-party delivers, Uber Eats and Grubhub in mind. So you can order in your app, scan your QR code, and your food comes down from the restaurant that's on the second level, the kitchen that's on the second level. And it is in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. And this is full-on digital-first mindset.
Look, it's not okay. I'm gonna be a contrarian there.
Do it.
I actually don't think it's digital first. It's consumer first. It's like they imagined every part of the product. There's a place where you can go inside. There's a place where you can do the drive-through. There's a real intentionality around speed and speed of delivery. And there's an intentionality on pickup and delivery, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were intentional about every step of the process in the way that they designed their brick and mortar building. And if you've heard anything from us over the past 200 and some odd episodes, the reality that we need to be looking at the way our businesses are structured from a brick and mortar perspective to meet the customer wherever they're at, utilizing the brick and mortar to deliver those experience, to be like the center hub for those experiences, right? The brick and mortar is the center hub for the digital experience. The brick and mortar is for the in-person. The brick and mortar is the center hub for the delivery experience. All of that stuff can be crafted and curated out of a redefined retail experience as the showroom. And so don't think like you're building the showroom only for the showroom experience. You're building the place where your people work to deliver and define all the experiences across digital or physical. Does that make sense?
It makes complete sense. And you know what I also love is that for those of you who really appreciate that experience with an apathetic person on their phone while they're taking your order, you can still do that because they've dedicated one lane to that experience. So if you want to go for the nostalgia, right, you can still have that experience too. They have one of their 4 lanes is dedicated to an actual person taking the order, and everybody else is going to order online or go through their phone.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy is I bet you all the workers there don't come across with an apathetic tone.
Not at that one.
Not at that place, right?
Right?
Because it's like if I work here, I'm in a level like there's an upscaling to my job capacity just because of the place that I work.
That is so true. And get this thing, that person probably doesn't have to listen to the kitchen noises because the kitchen's on the second floor. So it's good. Hey, they're doing things. They're making trouble. They're even talking about retro.
There's an ASOTU trip to Minnesota in the works.
I was just there.
To Taco
Well,
Bell.
it wasn't open. It wasn't open. Yeah, we're gonna do this. We need to. It's been a long time since I've had Taco Bell.
Oh, me too.
A long time.
I don't know if they can fix the Taco Bell out of the Taco Bell.
I don't know. I think I'm just too old. I can't handle the Taco Bell anymore. All right, this last story is a whole lot of fun.
This is the best.
Ford, we love surprise and delight. We talk about retail. Retail loves surprise and delight. You love to get something that you didn't know was coming. That is cool, right? It's stickers in a package or a little gift or whatever it is. So Ford Lightning owners got a little surprise and delight when an accessory that wasn't on the accessory list showed up with their new truck. And you know what it is? It is a Tesla rescue kit. It is an adapter that will fit into a Tesla because Ford talks a lot about its dual direction charging. You can use your Ford F-150 Lightning to power your house and power equipment. Well, they attached a little adapter. So when you see those stranded Teslas, guess what? You can actually rescue the stranded Teslas. Jim Farley on his Twitter account, he said, not trolling, just helpful.
Bull.
I don't believe that at all.
It is the Wendy's Twitter, like it is. Oh my goodness, I can't even. The level of
good.
This is the one time where one room in the corporate space was like,
we're gonna do this.
Everybody in the room was like, oh, right. Nobody was like, that's a weird name.
An intern came up with that idea.
Absolutely. An intern came up.
Well, kudos for Ford for adopting a little of, pop culture. Like this is how you can do business. You can do it fun. You can do it in a helpful way. Some some Ford F-150 Lightning owners have gotten stickers that say Tesla rescue unit. And they put it on their thing, but, slow clap, like well played.
Slow clap.
Full slow. Yeah. Well played, Ford. Well played. Oh, that's all the time we have for today. We hope you had a good time with us. We hope you have a little energy and inspiration to get into your day and actually go do something, make some change. Think about what's going on in your store and just get out there and get some.